Hey there guys, this is Andrew with Tech Engineered, and today we are going to be doing a Linux computer build. Well, I already built the computer, but we're going to be installing Linux on it because some of you guys might be wondering how to do that because you want to play around with Linux, you're aspiring software engineers, and you want all of that glorious customization and the ability to learn from just using the operating system. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about some reasons why you might want to use Linux. One, it's very customizable. If you're doing any kind of software engineering, coding, stuff like that, you can really optimize it to fit whatever your needs are, and whether that's how your windows are snapping or whatever like that, how they are split among the screen and stuff like that. You can basically do whatever you want because Linux is a very code-based operating system. It still has a nice crisp user interface, but if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you can just use the code-based system. Today we're going to be using Ubuntu, which does have a very large user interface on it that can control a lot of things, but is still very, very customizable, and you can put all different kinds of user interfaces on it if you would like. And really, Linux at its core is just kind of a code-based operating system, so a lot of your installs you will still have to use the Linux command line, and you will learn a lot just from using Linux. So today we're just going to be building kind of an auxiliary computer that's meant to be kind of a Linux playground, so to speak. The system that I've put together for us today is an FX 8300 system with 16 gigs of DDR3 memory, all in a gigabyte ultra durable motherboard, and we do have a GTX 660 2GB card in there just for video, just so we can kind of display things on the monitor. I don't really expect to be doing anything graphically intensive, but still, that's just a graphics card I had laying around, so it is a bit overkill for our uses today. But we're just trying to put it together a computer that we can just throw Linux on and teach you guys how to do that so you can get going with your work in Linux and learning a whole lot about computer software. The first thing that we are going to need is to get a copy of the version of Linux we want. Today we're going to be doing Ubuntu, so we are going to grab the ISO from the Ubuntu website. I'll have a link down in the description for that. And we're going to be installing it off of a USB drive, so we are going to need the PenDrive Linux Universal USB installer to put the ISO on the USB drive so that we can boot from the USB drive and install Ubuntu. So I'll have a link to that down in the description below. And once we have those, we're going to go ahead and open up the Universal USB installer from PenDrive Linux, and we are just going to select the version of Linux that we are installing. Then we are going to select the ISO from the Browse button wherever you saved it to your computer, and then we're going to select the flash drive and hit the Create button, and then we should be good to go. Eject the drive, and then we'll be ready to put it in the other computer and install Ubuntu. So now that we have our USB installer, we just need to put it on the other computer, and we will be good to go. First, I gotta install this hard drive, though. So let's go do that. Let's go to the workbench. Okay, so now we have the computer set up down there, plugged in, and then I have a monitor and keyboard over here. Whenever I'm installing an operating system on a fresh computer, I do like to use a PS2 connector keyboard just because it does not require drivers. So if the BIOS does not like the USB keyboard that I'm using, well, it just doesn't happen because I have PS2, which directly interfaces with the computer. So now that we have the computer all finished, we are going to just power it on real quick and see if it actually posts, because I have actually not turned on this computer since I built it, which is a bad idea. Always build your computers outside of the case first. Put together the motherboard assembly, plug the power supply into it just to make sure that it posts. But still, I'm going to go ahead and test it. And there we go, it posted. So now we're just going to plug in the USB drive to the front of the computer, like so. And then we're going to come back up here, and we're going to turn on the computer and mash F12 to enter the boot menu and boot from the flash drive. Now that we are in the boot menu of the computer, we're going to go ahead and go down to our flash drive. Go there, and we will see the Ubuntu installer menu. And we're going to select the option to install Ubuntu. It's kind of hard for you guys to see. I apologize. We will select install Ubuntu. And once it loads into the installer, we're going to go ahead and select English as our language and continue. And we're going to say install third-party software and stuff. And we're just going to hit install now. And it's going to say that it's going to delete everything and blah blah blah. We're just going to continue. So now we're just going to simply follow all of the steps to get through this. I'm not going to show this part right now because I need to set a password, type in my name and stuff like that. You guys don't really need to see that. So once I get past this step, I will pick it back up. So then after you get through the installer, just let it run, and then we will soon be inside Ubuntu. So now that we've made it through the installer, you now have Ubuntu on your computer. All that's left to do is unplug the USB drive and simply just restart the computer and you will be in Ubuntu, and the rest is up to you because it is a great learning experience to research and read how to use Ubuntu. I mean, it really is kind of a Mac style interface, but whenever you install software, do stuff like that, you know, the sky's the limit with Linux. So have fun and learn how to do stuff. So with Ubuntu, you can really explore computer software and learn a whole lot, and it is free. You don't have to worry about ruining your couple $100 Windows operating system or anything by playing around with it, and really just have fun. Linux is a nice playground. Ubuntu has a great user interface, so if you aren't very familiar with command line operating systems, you know, the Ubuntu interface is great. It's very Apple style, and you can still access the terminal and get kind of into the command line type stuff and learn a lot there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like on it. If you enjoyed this channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you have advice for future content that can be made here, go ahead and leave that down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.